you know they're never going to stop giving Utopia support. What's up guys, Abe here, and today we have a Utopia deck profile. Now I know maybe some of y'all wondering why, but you know, it's just a casual deck you can make, a cheap deck you can make. Obviously Utopia is never going to be meta unless they make some stupid broken cards. But I don't think they'll ever do that with Utopia. Maybe in the future we'll get something broken with Utopia. But in Lightning Overdrive we did get some new cards, a new rank up card, a new search card, some new monsters, new exceeds. So we got a little bit of everything. So yeah, let's go ahead and see what's in this Utopia deck profile. So, starting off with the monsters, we gotta run triple stage. So this is a new card, Lightning Overdrive. I made sure I got mine as soon as possible because now it's like getting expensive. But I got mine like $5 a pop. I think now they're like probably close to $8 to $10, which sucks. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah, this card's great because when you summon a Utopia monster with it, you add a rank up normal spell from your deck to your hand. So usually you go for the Zexal Force. Because it's the only normal we run. We also run Astral Force. You'll see my what rank ups we play later, or you know, when we get to the deck profile. Just to make it a little bit different, and also the fact that we can search these rank up spells now with Zexal Construction. Is the reason why I played some of those other rank up cards, and also just to give a little different flair to the deck. But yeah, Center Sage, great. You can special summon it if you control no cards. You gotta make sure you got nothing on the field. But other than that, you use your starter card. It just sucks that they have really whack stats. But that way, I guess they're not too broken. If they can beat over stuff, you know. But hey, it is what it is. Now for the next card we play at 3, ZS Armored Sage. Now this one's going to be great too because if you control a level 4 monster, not named itself, you can summon him. And then if you summon a Utopia monster using it as material, you can add a ZW monster from your deck to your hand. So usually you want to start off with this play, you know, summon him, summon them, and then you just go into Utopia, and then they just replace themselves with a rank up and then a ZW monster. Usually I like to go into a zero strike because you want to go second this deck a lot just to clear out your opponent's monsters and stuff. But yeah, Armor Sage is good just to get thin out the deck more. And yeah, it's just easy rank 4 place to go into. Now for the next card, Triple Utopic Onomatopoeia. Frame a little bit, but yeah, this card is great because it can summon out your Zubaba and Dodo, the monsters we play in the deck. Usually when it comes to a Utopia list, the monsters are gonna generally be the same. So if you see other Utopia deck profiles, it's pretty standard when it comes to the monsters you play because they just, you know, summon each other out really easily, search each other out, and all that jazz. But for this card, we play triple, and it counts as a Zubaba, Gaga, Gogo, or Dodo. So that way, it's a valid target for your onomatopoeia. So you search this, and you can search the coat or the Dodo glove, and that way you can get at least one of them to your hand. And then this just lets you summon one from the hand really easily. So yeah, so it's just a great card to go. Or it's a great card, maybe not for your first turn play. Usually you want to go with the ZS cards first because that way you generate advantage, and then later you go into these cards to you know keep exceeding and all that stuff. And they do lock you onto exceeding, so that's why in the extra deck we play nothing but exceeds. For next card is the Gaga Coat. Yeah, this card's great, so you can special summon it if you do control. I think he count. I mean, if he's on the field, I think he counts as that too, so you can special summon him. Or you can use his other effect. You can normal, and you can summon one from the grave. You have this in grave already. So yeah. So depending on what's going on or what you have, they're just great extenders, and yeah. So, but like I said, also blocks you onto Xyz. So that's why, like I said, you gotta only have Xyz in the extra deck. For next card play, double Go Glove. So you can summon one Zubaba or Gaga monster from your hand. So like, let's say you do have this in your hand. Let's say you have both of these in your hand. You can at least normal and then special, because you know usually this you can normal and then special from the grave. So it just depends how it's going and what you have. And also you can bring himself out if you control the Go-Go Dordo but not himself. So like if you do have the Anamana Pyra, I think Onomatopoeia, I think it works as well. He's on the field, you don't have the other guy though, you can at least summon him from the grave. I think that's how it should work. But yeah, if anybody knows that in the comments, please let me know. But I think that's how it should work for these cards. For the next cards we play, so it's going to be all the Zexal weapons. So we play one Lightning Blade, one Bringer, one Azura Strike, and the new guy, Pegasus Twin Saber. So Lightning Blade is good, give it 1200 attack, and also it can't be targeted, I believe. It cannot be, or it can be destroyed by card effects, and if it would be destroyed by card effect, destroy this instead. Bringer is for battle, it gains 1300. Your opponent cannot target that monster for card effects, and if it would be destroyed by battle, you destroy this instead. And Azura Strike, I like playing because you can equip it really easily to your Utopia monster, and from your hand or field, and then it gains 1000 attack, and then it can like Susanoo, it can attack everything at least once. So that's why I like Azura Strike, just because it can clear out boards. It gives a Utopia 1000 attack, or whatever Utopia you want to summon at that point. But if you just go regular Utopia, it goes into 35. So that way, hopefully, it can get over mostly anything with 3500 attack. And then Twin Saber is a new guy. This one, if it's equipped, you can then negate a monster effect on your opponent's side of the field. It also gives it 1000 attack. So usually you want to combo this off with the new guy, the from the Lightning Overdrive, the cover card, because that way it is equipped to it by its own effect, and that way also gains 1000 too. So yeah, so these are the ones we play. You can play all. I mean, when it comes to the Zexal weapons, you can play whatever other ones you want. I have like all the other ones too, but I think those are probably the best ones, obviously, because you're gonna see those mostly in most deck profiles. And then for the last card we play, there's a little, I'm not say tech, but you know, whatever. It's a card that just helps out when it comes to link play, synchro, Xyz plays. So the last monster we play in the deck is a Zephyros. So my thinking with Zephyros is, it's a level 4. It's in the grave. If you can send it to the grave, usually like with Onomatopoeia and like you have this in hand, you send this from your hand to activate the Onomatopoeia, and then you search out your 2 Zubaba and whatever monsters, and then your Zephyros is live at that point. So whenever you can get Zephyros to the grave and you haven't used the effect, it's always going to be live. Most of the time, you're not going to have face-up cards in the field. Probably the only face-up cards you can have in the field, like when it comes to your spells and traps, is your change tactics and your Onomata pickup. The pickup, you know, in most decks, people play it 1 or 2. And it kind of sucks because then it just kind of sits out there. It doesn't really have a great on-field effect, but what it does, what this card lets you do with Onomata Pickup is it does let you use it for next turn or whatever. So like if you have it on the field, you start your Onomatopoeia. If you really need to go into a rank 4, Zephyros can bring it back, summon it from the grave, and that way you can, if you have another monster in hand, you can go into a rank 4 play and stuff. So that was just my thinking when it comes to this card, the reason why I'm playing it. Yeah, and hopefully it just helps extend, you know, and also it makes that Onomata Pickup live again, so that way for next turn, if you really need to search again, you can use it again. So yeah, so that was just my thinking with Zephyros. Now, we're going to go on to the spells. Now, there's going to be a lot of spells. For the first one, it's going to be Xyz Change Tactics. So this one is whenever Utopia monster is Xyz summoned to your side of the field, you pay 500, draw a card. You can only control one. so you can't stack them, but at least you get to draw. And also this way it helps with the effect with like certain cards, like with like Utopia Array or things like that. Like if you're at, or like the new Zexal Force, is that when your opponent's 2,000 life points higher than yours or whatever, like when there's a difference, you can resolve these effects. So that's what Taxit does, and so that we can get low enough, or not low enough, but I mean if you're able to keep using change tactics, you can get low, and then hopefully you can resolve effects, and then we can like game your opponent at that point. So that's why I play a triple, because you do want to see it. And then like I said, even though we're going second with this deck, when you go first with Utopia, you like equip with like User Strike or something, and you have change tactics, you just do that, and then you get rank ups, and you just keep ranking up into more Exceeds, and you just keep drawing cards. So it's great. For the next new card, we play triple Zexal Construction. So this basically just makes almost any card in your deck searchable. Any ZW monster, any ZS monster, rank up a Zexal Spell and Trap, like your search itself. Yes, but you can only activate once, so it doesn't really work. But you could search out another one if you really want to. Or you can use, get your rank up spells or rank down. We don't play the rank down card. But other than that, like I said, it just makes almost any card in your deck searchable. I don't have the Generation Force cards, which lets you add an Exceed card, so usually that would search out like your change tactics or your Exceeds import. So I don't have that card, so that's why I'm substituting other cards. But any other card in the deck basically is searchable with this. So that's why this card is great. And it also doesn't make your double or nothing dead. So if you do draw this and like your double or nothing, you're like, oh man, I can't use Utopia double. Well, fancy that. Activate this, put it back, you search something else. And hopefully you don't draw it again. Unless you have to search with Utopia double. So that's why this card's really good. The next card we play is Onomatopoeia. I keep saying Onomatopoeia. It's Onomatopoeia. I remember using this card a lot when I had my God deck way long ago, back when like Tachyon Galaxy was out first. That was like one of the first decks I made, was a Gaga deck, where you use like Chronomaly, Makumek, and all that stuff, and then you use Gaga Magician and Gaga Girl, and then you use like Go-Go Giant and stuff to summon rank 4s, and then you rank up into to the Makumek, and then you burn your opponent. Yeah, that was hella funny. I actually pulled it off like once or twice, but probably every time I would try to do it, my friend or my opponent would always try to stop me. I'm like, damn it. But anyway, back to the card. This card searches out your Utopic Onomatopoeia, whatever it's called, and then one of your other Zubaba, Go-Go, Dododo, and Gaga monster. So yeah, and also the fact, like with pickup, it's searchable, so that's why it's great as well. Now we're going to go into the rank ups. So this is probably where maybe some people will be like, oh, why you play that card, or why you play that one, and blah blah blah, and da da da. I'm like, well, it's a Utopia deck, it's an Exceed deck, so I just try something new, but for when it comes to what you'll mostly see in most decks is Zexal Force. This card is great because it lets you go into the new guy, into Halberd. We don't run Leo Arms, just because there's not enough space in the extra deck for some of the other cards we're playing. And also if your opponent, like if you're pretty down against your opponent, you can banish this, draw a card, so that's why this card's great. But yeah, it's a really good card. Better than a lot of the other ones. For the next card we play, so Astral Force. A lot of you may be wondering why I'm playing this card, and no, I don't have Utopia Beyond in the extra deck. I didn't have space for it. But like I said, if you don't want to run the other cards I'm playing in the extra deck and the other rank ups I'm playing, you could play this, and then you can add Utopia Beyond in the extra deck, because it has to be 2 ranks, so 4 into 6, so Utopia Beyond. And Utopia Beyond is really good because when it's summoned, you make out your opponent's monster 0, so it's pretty cool. But this card is usually more for the other Exceeds we play in the extra deck. try to find a way to get to see we can summon Infinity in this deck. There wasn't able, or I wasn't able to find a way. So we playing some other Exceed monsters that we play that can hopefully help you win the game. Because just going into Utopia all the time, I don't say it's boring, but you know, your opponent's going to be seeing it coming. But if they don't see the other monsters that we do play, they'll be like, oh, okay, now I got to deal with that. So yeah, this is more for that. And then for the rank up, the last 3 rank up cards we play, get ready guys, is for the Raid Raptor cards. So my thinking was, I was trying to get that new Raid, not the new one, but it came out in Dimension of Chaos. I didn't have that card. It's called the Raid Magic Raid Force or something like that. It's like a, I don't know, it looks kind of weird. Almost looks fake, like a fake card, but it's not. So my thinking with this was, since Force Tricks is a, not Force Tricks, is it called Force Tricks? I keep forgetting the name. Yeah, it is Force Tricks, okay. The other one's Wise Tricks, okay, that's the link. But with Force Tricks, it's a generic rank 4. So I was thinking you summon Force Tricks, like if you don't want to go into Utopia stuff, or like maybe your Utopia stuff not really going to do anything, you can go into your Force Tricks, and then if you're able to search out any of these, usually I would save this for last, but my thinking was that with these you can go into rank 6s and rank 5s and all that stuff, and even a rank 8. So that was the point, is since we can summon rank 4 really easily, you summon Force Tricks, you summon this, you put it on top of like, or you put like a Revolution Falcon or something like that on top of that, and I really like Revolution Falcon's effect because of it can attack directly, and then you know you destroy, and then you can destroy a monster, and then you can also clear out your opponent's special summon monsters, and then they take burn damage for every single one. And it doesn't target, so that's why, or the clearing out effect doesn't target, I believe. So that was just my thinking. And also after that, since they're properly summoned, you can still bring them back out with Soul Shade Force, since it is a rank up magic and it is searchable. You can, like, you know, once Revolution Falcon is gone, or not, is it Revolution Falcon? I keep getting the names mixed up. Blaze Falcon. Blaze Falcon is the one I was thinking about. But then Revolution Falcon, if you do summon that properly and it gets destroyed, if you have a way to search this out, which we do with Zexal Construction, you can bring that card out, and then you can summon Satellite Cannon or Satellite Falcon, whatever it's called. And yeah, so that's just my big aha moment. But yeah, it's just something something different to think about. If you want to try it in your Utopia deck, just because now there are ways to search up rank up magics. Yeah, it's just a way, like, your opponent's not going to see it coming, so that's why I decided to add it into the deck. So if you like it, you like it. If not, pish posh. Alright, now for the rest of the spells. Double Exceed Import. I think you gotta play this card. This card's great. It does target, but it does get rid of an opponent's monster and attaches it to your monster's material. Great. So if it can't be destroyed by card effects, don't matter. I'll just steal it, like Infinity would. And then for the one-ofs, one pickup. Like I said, since I have the whole thing with Zephyros, if you can bring it, put it in the grave and have this on the field, if you can bring this back to your hand and summon Zephyros for free, you get to use it twice. So why even use 2 if you can just use 1? And then, it's not going to hurt the deck if you can't have it first turn. Double or nothing, because since we are running Utopia and Utopia double, if you're able to do the Utopia double cheese, you might as well do it. 1 Rhoda, because almost everything in the deck is warrior. Harpy Feather Duster, because we don't like back row. and one Monster Reborn, because if you do properly summon everything, and even the Raid Raptor monsters, if you do, since we do summon them, well, like fortunately to be summoned properly, and then if you rank up everything, it'll cancel its XC summon, so it'll be summoned properly. So Monster Reborn can do that too, and then if you have like a rank up card, you can just put that out, like one of the Raid Raptor rank up cards, you just bam, and then you can bring out stuff. So yeah, that is it for the main deck, guys. Now, let's go on to the extra deck. So, obviously, Utopia. If you want to play the Raid Raptor cards, I would suggest probably playing this at 3. But for this deck, 2 is good enough. For the next card, Utopia Double, because Utopia Double provides cheese. And then for the stacking, 1 Utopia Ray, because, you know, you probably won't really use it for its effect unless you're at that point, if you're able to resolve it. But usually we're just going to use it as material to rank up into something else. Utopia the Lightning, because Utopia Lightning is really good. So instead, a lot of people like playing Ray V. I actually like Ray Victory more. 1, it's more attack. 2, its effect doesn't target. And also your opponent can activate spells and traps when it attacks. So that's why I decided to play this just over the Ray V, because if like your opponent's monster can be targeted or can be destroyed by card effects, Ray Victory can at least, you know, go over it, or you can, you know, activate its effect and then all that. So like I said, it doesn't target, so that's why I like it. Yeah, so when this card declares an attack on a face-up monster your opponent controls, it doesn't target. You can detach 1 XC material from this card and negate the opponent's face-up monster effects. Also, this card gains attack equal to that monster's attack. These changes last until the end of the turn. So at least they'll be taking 2,800 to the face. Boom. Ray V is great because it can do burn damage, but if, like I said, if the monster can be targeted, then it's not going to work. So that's why I just like Ray Victory a little bit more over Ray V. For the new guys, Ultimate Dragonic Utopia Ray. I wish its second effect, where you know you can negate cards on your opponent's field. If it was a quick effect, this card would be way better. But sadly, it is not. So that's why I only play the 1. Just because if it's on our turn and your opponent has stuff that is like kind of or like kind of messing us up, but we're able to get around it, and then you're able to summon this guy and you can start negating stuff. That's great. But like I said, if this card was a quick effect, the second effect, it would just be way better. That's my only gripe with the card. And then for the last, like for the Utopia monsters, Dragonic Halberd, just because you can, and usually we're probably not going to summon like CW monsters and then summon this. We're usually going to rank up into it if we need to. Now for the regular Exceed monsters, 1 Gaga Magician, because this helps summon Utopic Future. You do need regular names, so like, let's say does it have to be rank 4? No, just in your graveyard. So all your raid rap, it can't be a number monster for Utopic Future, so you have to have exceeds that are not number monsters. So that's why you got to play a couple with no numbers in the name. So that's why we have the Raid Raptors, and then we do play Exciton Knight as well, just as a poor man's Zeus if you don't have access to Zeus. But yeah, God Magician is just good just because it can summon out the other exceed, and then you can go into Utopic Future. And then it gives Utopic Future a good effect too. Exciton Knight, like I said, it's a poor man's Zeus. I do have Zeus, but if you don't have Zeus, you can play this instead. Utopic Future, cool card, obviously there's a new guy, but there's not space in the deck for it. If you can find space in it, obviously if you don't want to play the Ray Raptor cards, you can put it in there, but Utopia Future on its own is already a good card, so that's why so we just play the one of. And now for the Raid Raptor cards, 1 Force Tricks, because like I said, it's a generic. And then if you have your rank up stuff, you can start ranking up into stuff. You can use the effect to search out the Zephyros if you want. But if you don't want to, you don't have to, because that way you can have more materials on your monster if you really want to. If that's not a really big like thing, or like if you don't really care about that, you can detach and search out the Zephyros. And then we have like a free discard fodder or something with Zephyros. Yeah, Force Drakes is just, it helps facilitate all that because it's a regular XE monster. Blaze Falcon, if we need to rank up once, Blaze Falcon is great for that. And like I said, I love his effect. He can attack directly, and then if he inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it. So that part does target, but hey, if you're able to, you just pop it. And then his other effect is you can detach the XE material from this card. Destroy the range plus on a monster your opponent controls is possible, and if you do, inflict 500 damage for each. So, man, if they have like 2-3 monsters, 1500 already to the face. And then Revolution Falcon. Revolution Falcon, we probably won't use this effect too much, but this is just more for like the name and all that. And then for the last card we play is the Satellite Cannon, because if you do summon this out properly, and then you're able to get to Soul Shade Force, summon this out, and then you summon this on top of it. And then Satellite Cannon is great because if this card is actually summoned by using a Raid Raptor SG's monster, obviously it's going to be like that. You get to destroy all spells your opponent controls. It's 2 ranks higher. So, sorry, I was just ringing Soul Shade Force. So 6 into an 8, and then you can destroy a spell and traps your opponent controls, and they can't activate stuff in response. And his second effect is Quick Effect, detach, target a face of monster your opponent controls, it loses 800 attack for each raid Raptor monster in your graveyard. So you'll probably have like 1 or 2 in your grave at that point. And maybe like I said, maybe 1 or 2. And then it'll just lose probably like 1600, or even 800. So now we can get over something if you need to. And the good thing is that effect, it doesn't have to have a Raid Raptor monster as material. So you can like detach this and it's not going to matter. So that's just my little, I guess, spice I want to add to the Utopia deck. Just, something else you can think of when it comes to this deck. And I do have the extra deck ensemble sleeves. It's freaking adorable. I love these sleeves. That is it for the deck profile, you guys. Let me know down in the comments what you think about it. What do you like to play in your Utopia deck? I know it can be pretty cookie cutter when it comes to this deck, because Utopia does have a lot of other cards you can play, but these are probably the best ones to play. And also let me know down in the comments, what do you think about the Raid Raptor little engine I have in there. I said it could be, I know like there are times where maybe if you draw too many rank up cards, like it can be kind of dead. But I just like having fun with the deck. Like I said, this is a casual deck. Do not take this to any YCS. You want to take Drytrons. I don't know. Drytron's probably the best deck right now. But I mean, Tri-Brigade's good. What else is good? Freaking Shaddoll Invoke. This still pops up every now and then. I've been watching a lot of videos lately. Anyway, let me know down in the comments what you think about this deck profile. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys follow us on our social medias on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Stay updated with YuGiBOOM, with all this right here. You want some of this. Just kidding. Make sure you guys follow us on our social media. Make sure you write down in the comments what deck profile you want us to tackle next. And thanks for watching. Have a good one.